We know Chelsea want Alejandro Garnacho. How much do United want for him?
They want around £50 million. Now, that's interesting because obviously he's got bags of potential, but it's clear that he wants a fresh challenge. Ruben Amorim constantly says it, and Manchester United are now expecting formal offers for the Chelsea target. So, look, we did allude to it at the start of the show. People saying, goodness me, Man United are spending money. That is one player where you would get decent figure for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed. Sticking with Chelsea, Levi Colwill, we now know, is injured. Does that mean, Mark, Chelsea have to go into the market and get a defender?
Well, the good thing about Levi Colwill is that he could play multiple positions. Left back, left side of a back three, left side is centre-back. So the fact that they're going to be losing him for some time is a real blow to Enzo Maresca. Chelsea's ability to find players, sign players and spend money in the transfer window is there for all to see. They've been very clever with their accounts, so they've got a lot of headroom when it comes to PSR. Do they want to go into the window? Possibly. Could they afford to? Definitely. Will they? Probably. They are a club that is basically... I always look at Chelsea right now. I'm so intrigued as to how they develop. Club World Cup champions, Champions League football. They've really started to develop back to the Chelsea that we have seen over the last 20 years under Roman Abramovich. And it feels like there is two sides to that club. There are players that they sign to try and go into that first team, and there are players that they sign that they see as really good market value, and actually we can sell him and make a profit because we're a really clever business. And that's probably how they identify the players they want to sign. So I definitely think defensively they are a little bit short. They would be looking at options, but again, is the right player out there at the right price?
Mark, now, Mark, we've spoken a lot about how much Nicholas Jackson will cost. Michael just alluded to it. Are they going to get the 80 to 100 million that Chelsea have said they want?
The short answer is no, but Florian Wirtz was 150 million euros. Liverpool paid 137.5. And there are other players out there. Victor Gyökeres had a €100 million release clause, and it ended up being between 60 and 70.
Which is Chelsea's point. They're going, well, the others are going for this, so we want this for Jackson.
Yes. Now, is Nicholas Jackson worth more than Victor Gyökeres? Is he worth more than Hugo Ekitike? It just depends. Ultimately, someone is only worth, A, what someone's willing to pay, and B, what someone's willing to sell. So I think their stance at the beginning of this is going to be market forces. Everyone wants a number 9. He's just had 2 solid seasons in the Premier League, nothing exceptional, but he has scored goals in the most difficult league in the world. So therefore, he's worth what we value him at 80 to 100 million. Whether they get that is another point, but their starting point is quite bullish. This is what we want.
But you know what? You look at who Chelsea have sold this summer. You talk about bullish. You can understand why. Noni Madueke, 48.5 million. Amanda Broya, we're going to talk later in the show, 20-odd million. Georgi Petrovic, around 25 million. João Felix, 26.5 million. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall barely played yet last season, around 28 million. No wonder they're a bit bullish. Or for me, though, if we're talking maybe a Nicholas Jackson to a potential Newcastle, he's not an upgrade on Alexander Isak. Absolutely not, but who is?
But is he any different from Benjamin Sesko, who they were wanted? Numbers, stats-wise, Mark.
Stats-wise, numbers-wise, no, they'd be very similar. And again, like Benjamin Sesko's doing it in a league that's not as difficult to score goals in as the Premier League. And that adjustment period going into English football can always hit players hard at times. And Benjamin Sesko, like, I don't know, Rasmus Højlund, might struggle a little bit at first. Would it be fair to say Didier Drogba didn't quite have the impact at first, but then became a machine? Yeah. So therefore, you'd have to say, well, you don't know how this one's going to fall. But Chelsea are perfectly within their rights. They paid around £35 million for him. That was his release clause from when he came out of La Liga. So they're looking at it thinking, right, A, we're going to double our money, give or take, which is great business. B, we know that there are a lot of clubs that are desperate, absolutely desperate for a number 9,